Hit record.
I don't see that
All
shit.
right, man. So I think we might be in there.
Okay.
Let's see. All right. All right, y'all, man. This podcast is brought to you guys by Heat Challenge. The Heat Challenge is a 6-week fitness transformation challenge built to help you develop lasting nutrition and exercise habits. Over the course of the next 6 weeks, 5 winners with the most significant transformation will be paid $5,000 each in cash, totaling $25,000 total. You can sign up today by joining or going to heatextreme.com. That's HEATXTREME to reserve your spot today. Who I got on here today is a long friend of mine, Jason Lobdell. Mr. 2 weeks out. It's been long overdue, man, for us to get on here and just talk, and let each or everybody that's listening, who you are, what you do. I'm gonna dig into like what got you started, where the drive came from, just the whole upbringing to where we are today. So with that being said, man, I'm going to give you the floor just to let you introduce yourself and tell us a little something about yourself.
Okay. Jason Lobdell, basically from Atlanta, serial entrepreneur, gym owner, fitness enthusiast. It's a lot of moving parts to what I got going on. So serial entrepreneur is the title.
I like that. So elaborate on that. What exactly is a serial entrepreneur?
Well, give an example. Like for me, even getting into the fitness arena, I had a trucking business, and I had cargo vans, box trucks, and then I jumped into the 18-wheelers. Those are 3 different type of businesses, but it's all in logistics. The opportunity presented itself for me to partner with my boy Travis, my childhood friend. Somebody passed away, a guy named KB passed away at a gym. Gym wasn't doing good, and he was like, I put up the bread, you put up the muscle, let's go in on this gym, that type of thing. So I'm like, all right, cool, another stream of income.
Right.
Fast forward, I discovered that I like training more than I like trucks, But the only difference was I had 2 partners, and we were splitting the money 3 ways, you know what I'm saying? So I wasn't, you go from making $2,000 a week to $500 a week, you know what I mean?
Big difference.
Yeah, big difference, But again, like I said, I'm a serial entrepreneur. I knew I was gonna figure it out some way or another. So that was like 2016. I had to figure out a couple ways to move, outside of me just being in the gym training. So started my online platform. From there, it afforded me to start other businesses. I got a university called 4K Pathways to Success.com. Got a clothing line, Body Envy. Women's apparel, about to drop our men's line coming this spring. So yeah, I got a lot of stuff going on.
So what caused you? I mean, I got the whole scenario, you being in logistics and then helping out and running the gym. But what really, like, were you training before? Like how did you get into like training and being an entrepreneur and running the gym?
So in my neighborhood, I always was like, I always was the guy getting money, you know what I'm saying? And Deshaun, abs guru, he's from my neighborhood or whatnot. I was doing party promotions and things of that nature. But as far as the fitness concerned, I had a personal trainer myself for 6 years.
Right.
Before I even started training, I had a personal trainer. He always used to be like, man, you need to train, that type of thing. But my boys around me wasn't making no money training, so I ain't gonna do that. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
This was humble guru. This is humble KD. You know what I mean?
Right.
Even when I met you, you know what I mean? Like, it wasn't no BMWs and Cadillacs and all that back then,
Right.
Folks, it was like more of a grind mode. But me, I was already in position.
Yeah, training wasn't the thing. Training was not the thing.
Yeah, it wasn't. It wasn't what we made it. I say that it isn't what we made it. You know what I mean? I think we pioneered a lot as far as business wise. So me being a businessman, I went to Deshaun's class and I saw what was going on. I'm like, this is pretty good. And I started counting heads and I started doing math. I just started doing business-like things. Pull them to the side like, hey, bro, we bring this on the east side. We can pack it out, make $1,000 a night. I'm thinking like that. He's like, yeah, it ain't that easy. I'm like, it is.
Right.
So we literally teamed up, brought his class on our side of town. And like before you know it, we had 100 people at $10, $15, And, I kind of got a taste of a little bit of money from, from fitness. I was like, yeah, it's kind of a demand, you know what I mean? Or you create the demand. Some people tell me, I talk to guys, they come from out of town. They're like, well, yeah, it's not really a market where I'm at. It's really slow. It's really saturated. They got all these excuses.
Right.
But I'm like, we from Zone 6. It wasn't no fitness. You hear Gucci Man and like the rappers, it wasn't nobody doing no fitness in Zone 6, you know what I mean? But we created the culture, you know what I mean? We created the buzz around fitness in our community, you know what I mean? So you can't never say what you can't do and what can't be done.
Right. So got into fitness. You seen that there was money was there. From seeing that and running the gym, what came after the gym that you had where KB was at and or Universal? Like how did you get into the next gym and like how did all that plan out?
So really, at Universal, we were kind of having it. So when you and I were at Universal, it was a different Universal. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
The neighbors was used to one thing.
Right.
Then they put Mr. 2 Weeks Out and DP under the same roof, and there's 50 people in there at 5 o'clock in the morning, running all over Bankhead. You know what I mean? So they was like, yo, we're not renewing this lease. You know what I mean? And I found out like 90 days before the lease was up that they wasn't gonna renew the lease. And if anybody knows anything about a gym build out, or just even getting a corporate account when it comes to like getting a building, it's a little different than just renting an apartment. You know what I mean? If you're doing it the right way. So it took us so long to find a building, and it was just one particular building that I went into. It was an old furniture warehouse, which is currently the Loft. And I went in there and I just looked at the ceiling. I had another name in mind, but I looked up the ceilings, the rafters, and they had like studio lights. I'm like, that shit like a loft. You know what I mean? So, but I just knew I couldn't get that spot. It had a glass office. It was just dope. You know what I mean? But I was just like, I know they ain't gonna give me this one. So we looking at all these other spots, and literally I gotta be out Friday type thing. So we move out of Universal, and like at the last beat, they told me, we got approved. My realtor had the keys to the all we had to do was wire the money, and I never missed a day. That Monday, it was freezing cold. We in there with yoga mats and dumbbells, and that became the Loft. But that's how it all came about. The lease was over with. I had two partners that really showed me that they weren't really into the fitness realm like I was. So I was just like, me and Angela was gonna be partners again, but it was just like, nah. I got an online subscription with my partner G Bryant, and it was just like it made more sense for me and him to open a gym together. So that's how that came about, and we ain't looked back since.
So gym is definitely up and popping. One of the bigger gyms in Atlanta, doing its thing. A lot of people are gravitating to it. So right now, you're viewed as one of the elite or one of the top trainers or entrepreneurs in Atlanta, and starting to be recognized worldwide for some of the things that you're doing. For the trainers, young entrepreneurs out there, like you said, some of them are saying, they're trying to gravitate to different cities to where they feel like it's popping. A lot of people, like I know for sure, I'll talk to people and they're like, man, it's just different in Atlanta. Y'all seem to be getting it. And I'm like, man, it has nothing to do with where you're at. And I think you were about to say a statement as far as creating demand or demand being there. You want to elaborate on that a little bit?
Yeah, man. So the thing is, I truly believe that you can create you got to be a certain type of individual. You know what I mean? I remember.
I'm glad you said that.
Yeah.
Bring it back. Elaborate on that piece, because I really feel on our end. explaining this and really elaborating on this and getting into detail of character traits, mindset, grind, work ethic. I think all these things really play a major fact in what you're about to describe. So like really elaborate on that real quick.
So this is the thing. You got two different mindsets when it comes to, and I think me and you got two different mindsets, right? But mine's isn't right and yours isn't wrong. You know what I mean? We just got two different mindsets. And I've learned, you know, by working shoulder to shoulder with you, like, oh shit, you know. So I'll give you an example for me. I come from a different, like my background is like back end, right? I used to do like parties and let people in for free. I used to do a lot of labor to get the buzz going. Even when me and Deshaun was doing the classes and stuff, we used to give classes away. We used to go to Stone Mountain and we used to have 100 people go up the mountain. It was free. You know what I mean? So that just putting in the actual the labor, doing the work, and not being afraid to get paid on the back end. That's one thing that I have to tell these trainers. Like, if you can give me one piece of advice, what would it be? Well, if your gym's not popular, if you ain't got no motion, do something for free. Team up. Do a split class with another trainer. You know, like how y'all used to do. You and like Guru come in first, do the standard abs, and then you come with the heat, like stuff like that. Like I don't see enough collaboration.
Right.
I don't see enough. Like I say, I don't see enough giving. Discounts like BOGO, like it's all type of stuff we used to do. You know, we used to have like punch cards at the front door.
We be trying
treat it like a real business. You know what I'm saying?
Trying to figure stuff out. Like, listen, 1, 2 for 1, 3 for 1, or whatever it took to get people in the door. And and I have that same message with a lot of trainers. You know, they're like, yo, man, I'm trying to get my training up. I'm trying to get, you know, my classes up. And the first thing I say, are you offering some stuff for free? Like, you're giving them a taste of what it is that you offer? Because once you start doing that, they're going to eventually want more. And then this is when you start showing them everything else that you have to offer. But you got to get them in the door first. Yeah. And the easiest way to do it, the quickest way to do it, like you said, is for free. And I think that that's a great point, you know, for all the trainers out there listening, for anybody that's out there listening to grow your business. If you're looking to try to get some foot traffic in, just think about some of the things that you've been interested in, or some of the things that gravitated you to something. They've always giving something away, whether it's tips, whether it's information, whether it's classes, whether it's workouts. It was always something given. And to me, I just feel like that puts more value in the things that you're offering, because they're starting to see, okay, well, he's doing this and he's doing that. What else do you have? You know what I'm saying? There's always going to be an interest and alert for more. So I'm glad you said that, man, because it's like I said, I know for me, for a fact, I was trying 1 in, 2 free, 2 in, 2 free, 3 out.
Another thing too, when it comes to giving, right? Like, even when you charge, there's a way to give. Meaning, like, I remember you guys went on tour, right? You and Guru, y'all going to these different gyms and things of that nature. Those gyms are reaping the benefits of having a big name trainer come to their gym. My wife does it. She takes her boot camp and she goes to McDonough, Georgia, where it's slow motion, but she puts it on her page. She blows the gym up. And when she goes to that gym, it's a line around the building. Now you got motion at your gym. Now you can use that footage and retarget certain people like, yeah, this is how we do, this is what we got going on. You know what I mean? But a lot of people don't even have a mindset to be like, all right, it's more to investing in the gym than buying dumbbells and buying damn equipment. You know what I mean? Sometimes you need to just hire some help. Sometimes you need to have a blowout class, have, you know, such and such coming from this city, fly them in, do what you got to do and pipe your gym up. Because I've done it, you've done it. You know what I mean? We've had different people bring their events. And another thing is, like, you know, people be asking me how much to charge to rent the gym. It depends on what it is. If it's a lot of motion, I'm not even going to charge that person. I'm not going to get paid, but I'm going to get the publicity. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of times, again, like I say, that's back end.
And again, like I said, man, I'm glad you said that, because most trainers right now they're hungry. So they're trying to figure out a way to get money now,
Mm-hmm.
you know, and if they're not getting and seeing that money now, then they start switching paths and doing things of that nature. And I always am a firm believer of, you know, trying to figure out the best way to get things to pop for you. And if something doesn't work this time, figure out why it failed, revamp, try again. And just always coming back with hunger, you know what I'm saying? Because if, and this is just me, if I believe in something that I'm doing that much, the only thing I got to do is get one more person to believe in it. If I get one more person to believe in it, then it's easy to get 2 and then 3, and just those numbers start adding up. And I like I said, man, I'm glad you touched on that as well. So, and I think a lot of people from this podcast are just going to want to know. So me and you know, we had went different ways, different gyms. I left Universal, opened up HX. You left Universal and opened up the Loft. And then there was just smoke. So what do you feel from your perspective happened during that time?
So I'll say this: a lot of different moving parts had something to do with, you know, the initial smoke.
Right.
And like I say, me and Denzel, we good. I talk to him all the time now. But you know, I remember him being the first trigger for me.
Gotcha.
You know, he was somebody that I brought into my gym. He was my client. He was trying to do his NFL thing. It didn't work. You know, I let him come in my gym and kind of like mentored him or whatever. You went to open up your gym. He was like, I'm going to go with DP. I'm like, all right, that's your decision. You know what I mean? Right. But somewhere in between there, it was like, I think in his mind, he had to think like, all right, we going over here. Y'all come with us. You know what I mean? And then just him telling my clients, this is where we're going now, and we about to be over here, and, you know, this shit about to be done. You know, a lot of that smoke that I had with that direction came from Denzel initially.
Right.
Moving forward, how it trickled between, I would say, you and I is when, you know, I addressed you like, look, Denzel's creating a us versus y'all thing. You know what I'm saying? And then when I felt like you heard me and you wasn't like, all right, stop, because this ain't what we about to do. When you was kind of like, in my opinion, I felt like he was like, well, he grown. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I'm like, all right, if that's your answer, you know what I mean? Like,
right.
Fuck everybody over there. You know what I mean? That was just, that's what it was. You know what I mean?
Right,
like, I wasn't finna be handpicking who I talked to and this, you know what I mean? Because it kind of was like, I addressed him with what I had to address him with, you know what I mean? But like, shit, I keep hearing shit and I'm just like, look, I'm just gonna go to the head, because if the shit can get resolved by anybody, it don't get resolved by DP, you know what I mean? But, you know, that created a rivalry, you know what I mean? Because, you know, regardless of who sparked it off or whatever, you know what I mean? And you felt the same way. Like, we kind of was like, all right, shit, you know, us versus y'all.
Yeah. That's
just what it was, you know what I mean? And that comes with being an alpha male, you know what I mean? That comes with being a grown-ass man who's gonna stand on his morals and what he believes, you know what I mean? Like, people can be this close today, and it don't even have to be that person. It could be somebody wedged in between, and it's like, you know, it's a time limit. Like, all right, we gotta pick sides, or we gotta decide what we gonna do. You know what I mean? And like I say, you know, you had whatever you had going on, I had whatever I had going on. But at the time, I can't see if you like go at them, you know what I mean, or you just like, that ain't none of my business. But either way, me being, like I say, how I am, I'm like, all right, cool. Well, we ain't fucking with them. You know what I mean? Like, us versus them. That's just what it was. You know what I mean? But like I say, it wasn't nothing I created.
Right.
I ain't start the shit. You know what I mean? But I ain't finna lay down. I ain't finna be, you know what I mean? Like, act like I don't know what the fuck going on.
Right.
So that's just what that, you know, how that started.
And it's crazy because on my end, you know, it wasn't like I didn't leave for I didn't leave Universal for no apparent reason. No, me and you was beefing before. Like, it was nothing, nowhere near the sort, you know. And then all of a sudden, we just had smoke, you know, and a lot of people was in our ears. And like you said, you being the man you are, me being the man I am, we like, well, shit. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's Dill and it's us. And that went on. It went on for some time. And, you know, I think a lot of people fed off of that as well, and trying to say, oh, you know, what side they were on. And it just became a big thing for a moment of time in the fitness world in Atlanta. And it started to spread as well. But now, just to let you guys know, I don't have any beef with Jason. Jason didn't have any beef with me. We had sat down and talked, and it came to a point where, and this is how crazy it was. Like, it came to a point where we both was we both hosting the party?
Some of that nature.
Yeah, some of that nature. And I'm just like, oh shit. Like, either we're gonna talk, we're gonna have a wrestling match. So I'm like, that's my dog, man. Like, I personally don't have a problem with Jason. You know what I'm saying? Like, I never had a problem with Jason. Me and Jason was cool and cut the food since day one. You know what I'm saying? Like, dead ass serious. Like, we was the life of the gym. Like, if we was in there, niggas was having fun, people was cool. Like, it was just a good vibe, and everybody gravitated to it. So I'm like, look, man, we got to talk. We got to figure this thing out. Had our talk, squashed the beef. And like I said, we both grown businesses that a lot of people are seeing. We do a lot of the same things, not saying one is doing the same as the other. We just happen to do a lot of the same things. And the thing that I definitely like about, we have totally two different approaches. We both have, a lot of people are asking us a lot of different questions, a lot of people looking up to us for a lot of things that we're doing. And I really feel like in the fitness world, for what we do, Atlanta's where it's at. You know what I'm saying? Like, Atlanta's where it's at. I think it's safe to say that yourself and I have been cornerstones in the movement of how fitness moved in Atlanta. And now, at this point, kind of across the world. You know, we both have crazy online programs that are changing people's lives. We both have a different approach to it, but at the same time, a lot of people look to us for the growth. A lot of people look to us for knowledge and education and the entrepreneurship part of everything that we're doing. And I'm glad to have you on here, man, because it gives us a chance to actually talk out and for people to hear what it is versus what it ain't and what it is now. And,
yeah, I mean, I felt the effect of it. Like, when I, you know, and there's still people like that don't even know. Like, even when I came over there and I was with you, I put you like on my IG story when we was at the warehouse. People like, oh shit, like,
all right, like, they niggas, what they about to do?
Yeah, this far later, it's some people that didn't get the memo. You know what I mean? We at the club, we sit there, you know, Guru. He didn't even referee it. We just went upstairs on the rooftop by ourselves, you know what I mean? And, you know, talked like men and got our shit off, you know what I mean? And at the end of the day, like I say, it was some people, you know, in the city like, whoa, that was big. You know, that was what we needed, you know what I mean? That type of thing. So you never know what your effect is on other people, you know what I mean? On other sides, because I got 10 folks with me, you got 10 folks with you, and everybody, you know what I mean? So it was just bigger than, you know, us not seeing eye to eye or whatever the case was, you know what I mean? So yeah, I think it was, you know, a big move for, you know, our environment, you know, for people to see us like, all right, we had our differences, now we don't, you know what I mean? And now we can sit here and talk. I text you, we talk about cars, you know what I mean? Like, there's a lot of behind the scenes stuff people don't know, you know, that happens now. But again, that's a part about being a man, you know what I mean? Moving on, having uncomfortable conversations, you know what I'm saying? Like, me and you close enough for me to pull you to the side, like, all right, bro, let's sit down and talk, you know, and we was, you know, yeah, whatever, you know, arguing, whatever the hell, you know what I mean? But until you get that shit off your chest, you know what I'm saying, it's gonna linger, you know what I mean? So
And I think that's good, because I think right now we're seeing that a lot from a lot of different avenues. We've seen it with Gucci and Jeezy, you know. And didn't nobody know what the hell was about to happen on that stage. Like I know I was like, shit about to go.
That's probably how they felt when they seen us walking upstairs.
Yeah, everybody like, what the hell? Oh shit! But we like I said, man, we sat down, we talked, and for all the people on there watching or listening to the podcast, that's what it's about. You know, you may have differences with somebody, you may not agree with some of the things. Somebody else may have started the whole shit, and you have no idea how it even panned out. But at the end of the day, men or women, be grown enough, mature enough to have those conversations, have those tough conversations, and settle the differences. Whether you guys see eye to eye or not, is always in both you guys' best interest for you to have that conversation, so things don't escalate and get blown out of proportion, because it could have very well been blown out of proportion. Like, it was that tense. And I'm like I said, I'm glad that we did that. I think, you know, for the viewers and people listening, that's how everything should be. You know, you're not going to get along with everybody, in the times that you don't. Talk to them, sit them down, have that hard conversation, figure out where they're coming from, their perspectives, and let them hear your perspective. And, you know, saying, come to some common ground so you guys can move forward, because right now we don't need anybody, especially our culture, holding anybody back. The more we can progress as a unit, the more we can progress as entrepreneurs, the better off we are. Again, like I said, it could have went a different way, and we would have fell right into what people probably wanted to see, you know what I'm saying? And what the world or people on the outside looking in would probably think, well, that's how they act anyway, you know? So I'm personally glad that we had that conversation. We were able to move forward and really, you know, show that for both sides of the fence. But now that we got that out the way, so you say you got the Loft, you got your online program, you got a new program, was it 4K Pathway?
Yeah.
And what else are you doing? And Body Envy. You working on any other projects? You got anything else coming up?
Yeah, I have a trucking portal. So what I've been doing recently is, you know, like I say, being a serial entrepreneur. When I get into something, or if I invest in something and it's successful, I've had the mindset now to create a course and teach people how to do it. You know what I mean? Give you a little backstory on the 4K Pathway. It wasn't even something I wanted to do. One of my trainers got out of prison, was like, I got $5,000. What should I do? I'm like, you know. But I thought about it, and I gave people $5,000 5,000 times. I should know what to do with it. You know what I mean? So I just got to thinking about people who I've helped. And my intern at my front door wanted me to invest in her Airbnb business, right? So I gave her some money to invest in her Airbnb business. Mind you, this is my front door girl. You know what I mean? Look up, she got 3 Airbnbs, all of them making $3,000 a month. You know what I mean? I'm like, damn, she just created a 6-figure business with a $3,000 loan. You know what I mean? Same thing, my brother, he got out of jail, and I got him a car to rip and run in. You know what I mean? $4,000, gave him a little whip. And I kept having to pick him up to go to these appointments and go see his PO and all that. I'm like, what the hell you do with the car? He said, I put it on Turo. I'm like, what's Turo? Something he learned in jail. Turo is like an Airbnb for cars, right? So here it is. He got an ankle monitor on. He can't go nowhere, no way. But he got his car, people coming to pick it up. And he's making money off of this vehicle. You know what I mean? A little $4,000 car, bringing him in $1,200 to $1,500 a month. You know what I mean? So I just started looking at it like, damn. So I started digging a little deeper, went back, checked with my brother. Now he got 8 cars. He's making 6 figures off of a $4,000 investment. You know what I mean? So what I did was basically just took the Turo Airbnb, and I coupled it with a credit course to show you how to leverage your credit in case you don't have cash. And I bundled it into a university, and that's 4K Pathway. So basically just my give back to show people, you know, some people think that you got to put your work boots on, or you got to get your key card to go to work and exchange time for money. I'm showing people how to make passive money in your sleep. And that, like I say, I tell people all the time, it's 2021. We got to start making money doing 2021 shit. You know what I mean? Airbnb, the largest hotel chain, they don't own one piece of property.
Right.
That's 2021 shit. You know what I mean? So I guess when people grasp that, you know what I mean, they understand that Uber is the largest taxi cab company and they don't own one car. You know what I mean? So that's how we got to shift our mind. Yeah.
And I think that should give a lot of people a different way to think. You got two businesses that don't own not one lick of property, but yet they're the biggest in their network.
Yep.
And that should really start challenging people in 2021 to move different, think differently, and not just convert or settle for what's going on now. I think 2020, the pandemic caused a lot of people to think differently and move differently, you know, because right now this is the new normal for us, you know, and just like you said, starting businesses, trying to figure out ways that your money works for you. And it's funny that we're having this conversation because me and my mom were talking, and that generation is used to saving money, you know, putting it in the bank and saving money. And I'm this generation, my generation, you know, I'm into investing, you know, investing that money and making that money grow. You know, and I was trying to explain to Mom, I'm like, Mom, you know, you sitting that money in your bank account, it's not really growing, it's not really doing anything for you. You know, you can put some interest on it, you can put it into some type of COD, or you can invest it to where that money starts making money for you. But it just sitting here in your bank isn't doing anything for you. It's not growing. It's really just it's sitting there.
Yeah.
You know, and that's just a different mindset that we have. And I know you spoke on that a few times. You made a statement of what I believe your grandfather or your uncle or somebody said of what you're doing now. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah. He said everything is hard for me. He said things don't come easy for me because I'm breaking generational curses.
Right.
And you know, that really resonated with me because, you know, my parents, they went to work 20 years. My father retired 20 years, worked another 20 years. You know what I mean? So I couldn't even go to him to get no loan to go get this. They just don't understand entrepreneurship. You know what I mean?
Right.
Not trying to understand it. And that's fine. But my unorthodox thinking and me going, you know, risking it all, so to speak, on what I believe in, changed the dynamic of my whole family. You know what I mean? Because I'm able to retire my mom. I'm able to pay her house off. I'm able to, not just the financial things, I'm able to hire my cousin, my brother. You know, I'm able to start a $1 million business with my wife. You know what I mean? So these are things that we just are self-taught. You know what I mean? We study. It's YouTube University now. It's not what it used to be. You know what I mean? You don't go nowhere and just learn. You know, the things that I learned is like microwave. Like I can get a course right now and learn how to do whatever I want to do. You know what I mean?
Right.
So with that being said, you know, my grandfather, he sees what's going on and he's just like, yo, you're doing everything that I've never seen before. And that's why it's coming hard to you. Because when I have hardships, you know, I call him. You know, he's the first entrepreneur I ever met. You know, he had houses for rent and he had a cleaner business and stuff like that. You know what I mean? So he understands employees and the whole structure of being a boss. And yeah, he said that to me, man. It just stuck with me. Like, wow, things are coming hard to you because you're breaking generational curses.
And that's a real statement. And like I said, I remember hearing it and reading it somewhere on your page. Not when I seen it, I'm like, that's true, you know, because things that we're doing now, our parents, they're just not used to. They weren't brought up like that, you know. We're thinking, like, for me, I know for sure, my first house was bought for my son, you know, and when he graduates, this is here. It's my gift to you. And just having the thought of, you know, my kids being well taken care of and not having to go through the struggles that I went through and anything like that, because Lord knows, I just wouldn't wish it for nobody else, you know. We both come from tough backgrounds and we wouldn't want that for our kids whatsoever, especially if we can, you know, prevent that from happening. But yeah, man, I ain't want to keep you on here too long. I know you got a bunch of stuff to do, but outside of that, you got, like I said, you have 4K Pathway, where I think is pretty dope that you're doing. The gym online business and the clothing line.
Mm-hmm.
What's next?
That's a good question, bro. I think I just want to master the things that I have right now. I got one more course coming, and that's just because I've been in the trucking industry and I'm getting into another part of the trucking industry. Dually trucks, they call it hot shot. And I want to show people that you don't need a CDL, you don't need to be a truck driver. You could buy an actual pickup truck, a dually truck. You don't have to have special license and all this, show you how to buy it. But I'm gonna document the journey, you know what I mean? Because this is gonna be my first time doing this. After I document this journey for about the next 60 days, I'm gonna drop a course and show people like A to Z how to get involved, you know what I mean? Because I think it's important for us to be able to, like I say, leverage our credit. Everybody don't have a lot of money, but somebody, even if you don't have money or credit, you can get somebody to co-sign on this truck for you and get busy, you know what I'm saying? So that's really, I just been into the teaching, man, and like I say, I just started learning at 30 years old, you know what I mean? I'm not no scholar, but, I think I'm showing people how not to make mistakes, you know what I'm saying? And I think sometimes that's the greater part of the knowledge. You're not paying me for what I know. Everybody knows shit, but you're really paying me for my mistakes. Don't go this way, go that way. I tell people all the time, like, there's a difference between a tour guide and a travel agent. You know what I mean? A travel agent, like, oh yeah, you go to Africa, it's so nice. Have you been there? No, but I know, have you been there? You know what I'm saying? You haven't done it. Nah. A tour guide is gonna be like, yeah, we in Africa, but don't go over there because you're gonna get your ass ate up. You know what I mean? So I want to be more of a tour guide as I can, grabbing people's hands and bringing them through this entrepreneurship, taking them through this journey and showing them how to do it A to Z.
Gotcha. So a couple more things. Did you ever have a mentor or somebody that you looked up as when you were getting into everything that you're getting into now?
Not really, man. The crazy thing is, all my partners, I got a group called Circle of CEOs, and we all do different things. And all them boys got mentors, you know what I'm saying? And I'm to the point where I'm gonna pay for some mentorship, but I don't, you know what I mean? I don't have a mentor.
I've always wanted to ask you that because I get that question asked all the time. Like, who did I look up to or things of that nature? And I'm like, I actually came to Atlanta and knew no one. Like I knew no one. I met you, my first client, Portia, and Guru the first day I came to Atlanta. And I was just trying to figure stuff out. I had lost my job, came up here with a plan and a mission, and I didn't have anybody to bounce ideas off of, or just somebody I was looking to for mentorship. How well do you think, or do you think you should have had one? If you look back now, like, would you change anything?
So let me say this. If I would say, I would, let me shout out Ernest Ross, right? I was in business for Ernest Ross at one point. Yeah, and Ernest kind of was like, I was in multi-level marketing, and he was the big dog, you know what I mean? So if I were to say somebody had any type of mentorship with me with business, I would say it was Ernest before, you know what I mean? And I still talk to Ernest, but as far as like what I'm doing now, I don't have a mentor that's just like guiding me through this. And the thing is, I wish, like I said, I'm gonna go get one.
Right.
I'm gonna go get me a mentor. Like I was on
let me know when you
on the phone with Dennis Kimbrough. I was on the phone with one trying to get me a mentor. You know what I mean? And like Ira, we got older people, but like me and Ira talk about family. You know what I mean? He's been married 30 years. I want to be married 30 years. That type of thing. So, but as far as like to answer your question, like mentor through this business, nah. And I want one.
Right. And the same here. I always tell people, like, I never had one. I wish I did, because I probably wouldn't have made all the mistakes that I made in the past. And like you said, for us, that's what we're giving off. We're helping people and educating people on the stuff that we went through, so you guys don't have to go through it. Like I tell people all the time, man, I probably would have saved hundreds of thousands of dollars and a bunch of time if I had somebody in my ear that said, you know what, I wouldn't do that, or you know what, when I did that, this was happening, and gave me the option to, you know, make a decision. But we didn't, you know, again, when we started, training wasn't the thing, you know, at least when I got into training, I knew nothing about training. I didn't know, I knew what a trainer was, but it wasn't a thing. It wasn't something that people like set out to do. And, you know, I think now is where it's at. It's a bigger wave. Fitness is just overall a big wave. Classes are a big wave. People being more health conscious and identifying the things in their health is just a bigger wave now. And like I said, you know, I wish I would have had a mentor. So I'm with you. I'm with you right on. Like when people ask me, I'm like, shit, I'm still looking for one.
Yeah.
You know, and I talked to Ira, and me and Ira used to always talk about, he always asked me about online and gym, and we were always talking about stuff like that. Rest in peace. But outside of that, man, I appreciate it. Keep doing what you're doing, man. Like I definitely admire the things that you're doing, respect everything that you're doing, and you're really making a big impact in the culture. You know, a lot of people are looking up to you. Keep doing, man. You and the wife and your kids and everything you're doing. Like right now, all eyes are on everything y'all doing. Keep pushing. Just keep doing your thing, man, because it's really a positive impact on everybody that's watching, and I appreciate it. You know, I definitely appreciate it. You know, just everything y'all do. I mean, y'all just keep rocking out, dog. Y'all keep rocking out, man. Y'all doing
appreciate it, my boy.
And I'm definitely feeling that. So thank you for joining us, man. And that's about it, man. We out of here.
That's it, man, for sure.
Peace.
Salute.
I'll let you.
All right, bro.
Let me stop recording that.